Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I'm grateful to be here, and I am glad to be here. You know, it's supposed to be a wonderful time for this family. I was sitting down with the father and the mother. They had recently sold their business, and they had sold it for an awful lot of money. And yet they didn't seem to be overly happy, especially the father, the creator, the founder of this company. He said, "I don't know why, but for some reason, I don't have the best relationship with my children that I should have. And it troubles me, it saddens me. They seem to think I'm a workaholic, that I've overworked and didn't spend enough time with the family." And I said, "Tell me a little bit about yourself." I said, "Did you grow up rich or did you grow up poor?" And he said, "I grew up poor, but I didn't know it." I said, "Well, when did you discover that?" He said, "Oh, I remember the exact moment when I discovered it. I was underneath the porch, outside. Nobody knew I was there. It was almost dark. My mom and dad came and sat down on the stairs, and I got really quiet. I'd been playing, and I just listened. And I listened to my mom and dad talk about how tough times were, how they didn't have enough money for food, how they'd been skipping meals so that their children could eat. My mom wasn't crying. She actually started sobbing as my father consoled her. Imagine me as a 9-year-old sitting underneath that porch listening to this. I resolved in that moment that I would do everything possible to make sure that my family never starved. I went out the next day. I started picking up bottles. I could turn them in for a deposit. I picked up as many bottles, turned them in. I talked to a friend of mine who had a paper route. I convinced him to pay me. I forget what it was, but it was just like a few pennies for every newspaper that he put the rubber band on in the morning so he could go on this route. Eventually took over that route. He looked for every opportunity to make money and to help his family. There was a little tiny store on the corner. He got a job sweeping it out at just 12, 13 years old. By the time he was 16, he had dropped out of high school. And he had talked the owner of that store into selling him the store. And he owned the store by the time he was 17. And he went on from there. And that store led to another store, led to another store. It became a supermarket, then a chain of supermarkets. And he said every single day, whether I was picking out bottles, putting rubber bands on newspapers, or working in that store, I thought about the under the porch experience. And it drove me every single day. And I looked at him and I said, "Wow, what a story." "Have you ever told your children this story?" He said, No. I said, "Why not?" And his eyes teared up. He says, "I was just too embarrassed." I said, "It's time to tell them this story." So they gathered the family together, and with lots of tears and lots of emotion, he shared this story, the under the porch moment. Now, if you talk to those kids today who have kids of their own, what do you think their favorite story is to tell their kids? The under the porch moment. Now you think about that under the porch moment, it came out of trials. It came out of a time when everything was just terrible. So let me ask you, what is your under the porch moment? Are you capturing it? Are you sharing it? What a rich time. This is where leaders rise up. This is where men are polished. This is where men's character are discovered. It's not created, but they're uncovered. We don't create character, we uncover character. My suggestion is, start writing down some of these experiences that you have. Name them, brand them, write down your feelings and how you feel about it. Capture these moments right now as we go through these tough times, tougher than most people have ever experienced. Capture these moments and then start to find those nuggets that are there, because those nuggets will help your children have even more character. They'll help other people have more character. They'll help you have more character. And you know what? They'll give you strength right now as you go through these tough times. Take a second. I don't care if it's just a piece of paper, a pad of paper, if you have a good little notebook like I have, and just start writing in this day your feelings. And then if you capture any stories and you can think to put a name by it, put a name by it. Anybody in his family knows what it means, the under the porch moment. And what the under the porch moment does not mean, it doesn't necessarily mean a porch. What it means is a moment in time when you made a resolve. And with that resolve, it allows you to complete something even greater and bigger. But unless you share it, people are not going to understand it and they won't carry it on. Guess what? The greatest thing that that family can give to the next generation. It's not money. It's the ability to make under the porch moments work and to share them, regardless of what kind of an experience it is. That's my message for you today, Meaningful Monday. Let's make the best of our experiences. Capture them, then capitalize them. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.